Mark Ford is in studio. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Morning, Bill.
So you, for the last, how many years has it been? 5 years?
8 years.
8 years have been running Val Bialas, and you're done.
We are finished, and we were finished off by the weather.
That's the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've had year after year of just horrible weather.
Well, we got teased the first 3 to 4 years. We had good weather and good revenue, but then it just went south. And in the last 2 years, we were only open 6 days total.
Oh, wow.
2 years ago, we weren't open at all, and last year we were open 6 days.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, you can't even, when the weather is warm like this, you can't even make snow. You can't make snow.
No, you can't. But actually, there was spells of cold weather that we could have made snow. The problem is you can't really cover the whole hill with man-made snow. You have to have some natural snow to get a base down, and then use the man-made stuff to augment it. And
you weren't getting that.
We weren't getting that at all. No.
Or you got 3.5 feet in one 24-hour period.
And then it was gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and even that was late in the season. I mean, people aren't thinking, they're not thinking skiing at that point.
Exactly. So if we had a blizzard like that at the beginning of the season, that would have put
a base.
That would have put a base down. Yeah. We would have been able to pack it down with the groomer and then keep it for the entire winter.
Now, this is not your only business. You have other things, and you do very, very well.
Yeah, this just turned out to
businesses.
be an expensive hobby.
An expensive hobby, but it was more than a hobby because it was kind of a dream that you wanted to bring back a little piece of nostalgia.
I wanted to share that fond memories with the current generation of kids, and when we had snow, we had a lot of people there. We had good coverage, good gate. A lot of guests, and when we had no snow, we had nobody.
Yeah.
Can you explain, because I know as a kid, this is, I don't know, 20 years ago, I remember being up there and, tubing or whatever down the hills. Who oversaw it before you took it over, and what happens to it now? Can you still go? You just don't have to. How does this work now going forward?
Well, there's always been free sledding up there, always. For the last 60, 70 years, there's always been designated free sledding areas. In 08-09, the city had a vendor up there who put up a tubing operation with a lift they call the Magic Carpet Ride, and they ended up they did it all wrong. They spent too much money.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, and I don't know. As far as I know, there's still one lawsuit pending of a lady who had her ankle crushed in that thing because it was improperly installed in the middle of the wintertime. And they left town owing everybody money.
Yeah.
So the city had to do a serious look at seeing whether or not they wanted to have another vendor run the place or take it over. So they put it out for bid. I was the only bidder, and so that meant I got it.
Yeah.
And basically, we put money into the hill. We built features for the snowboarders. Because this type of a small ski area, the salvation of it is snowboarders, and they're what are called the terrain park.
Right.
So we always had a huge 60-foot jump anchoring the park, and we brought them what they wanted.
Yeah.
And
except for the snow.
Except for the snow.
And so what happens this year? You know you're going to get snow this year. I mean, you're not going to get it, but we're all going to get snow this year.
The minute you walk away from a slot machine, somebody sits down and the money starts pouring out.
Right. Yeah. So what happened when there's snow? Will people still be able to snowboard? Does the city now start charging people?
The city will take over it. I have no idea to what degree they're going to operate it, whether or not they're going to put up the terrain park, which is going to be needed if they want any clients.
Yeah.
And it's
so the terrain park, that's the jumps and the stuff that the snowboarders want.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're not interested in doing what skiers do, which is shush down the hill with a few odd features or so. But the snowboarders want the rides.
Yeah.
The question is going to be if the city is able to put all that together, and again, whether or not there's snow. Now, in one prediction, we hear it's going to be a warmer than usual winter. And look at where we are right now. It's going to be 75 degrees over the weekend.
Yeah.
And then another report says it's going to be colder and more snow than ever. So far, they just have not been at all correct.
We've had 2 winters where they predicted a lot of snow, and we got none. So they're predicting a good amount of snow again. So I decided at that point that meant there was going to be none.
That's right.
And I was going to bail out. So.
Yeah. All right.
But, I mean, the city's in a bad spot. I mean, they have 2 basic choices. They can not operate the place and let the chairlift dangle in the wind.
Yeah.
And through non-use, it will deteriorate.
Yeah.
Or they can operate it, like they say, on a part-time basis whenever there's snow. The problem is they're not going to be able to do the prep time, of setting up the terrain park and all that stuff, which we did.
Look at all these other places throughout the state. They're always doing something, trying to do stuff in the summertime. Repurpose it. Hunter Mountain for years has been doing that summertime stuff, the festivals and all of that. And I think at one point you were going down that road, right?
Well, we did, but after we looked at liability, because of the fact that we're right in the middle of the city and not being able to control a crowd, because people could leach in from anywhere, from the woods, from down the top of the hill, from the zoo. There's no way you could have a controlled gate for that. Now, we had snowmobile races during the wintertime, and I'm going to talk to the city about seeing if I could still sponsor those.
Right, okay.
But those we could control the gates because it was usually 10 degrees out.
Right.
You didn't have to worry about kids walking out from the woods in their shorts and stuff. But
we did have some cold spells, and at times it was just too cold to. I think in February we had some remember there was a one. Was it February? It was below zero.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago.
3 years ago,
yeah.
every single day of the month of February it was below zero.
Yeah, we had good snow late in January, and we got it all groomed, prepped, ready to go, and then it went down to -10, -15. And we couldn't get anybody to show up.
Right. Because it freezes, right? It's hard, too.
Yep.
Plus, who wants to be
Or
out?
who wants to ski?
People don't want to be out. Parents don't want their kids to go out in that really, really cold weather. So it's man, you just got a great plan, but you just got hit with just the worst possible weather.
And then, like I always tell everybody in business, revenue hides 100 sins.
Yeah.
So if you got money, you can pay for and clear any problems you have. But when you have no money, the problems stick out.
Yeah. And your other business, the other stuff that you do, and software and shipping and all that stuff, I hate to say, but something like this is just going to draw off that, and it becomes a real drag. So.
Yeah, well, it's not like I'm bored.
Yeah, you're a busy guy. All right, Mark Ford, it's a great effort, and we certainly appreciate it. Hopefully the city will come up with something.
All right, Bill, thanks.
All right.